Boys, we're back.
We're back.
And I feel emasculated, man. I feel like a boy.
Why? Is it because I have
like
an
a boy,
axe
'cause
in my hand?
Goodness, man.
Because I have a blade in my hand, dude?
Man.
If one of you gets
Who's
I'm gonna be so sad. Please.
That'd be him.
Let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one question.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
good. Just put that on.
I'm just gonna do it.
We're gonna test. Can Dave put it on?
Hook under.
the tip. I got the tip.
You're about to cut his sheath, man.
I got it.
There we go.
Who's gonna carry the boats? I got Evan in the building today, bro. We got Evan,
What's up, guys?
Evan H in the building. How do I pronounce the last name? Is it Hay or Hab?
Haberlin.
Haberlin. Hey, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Haberlin. Welcome to the You Are Here podcast, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
You're here,
It's a pleasure
brother.
to be here.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you, man. I didn't tell Mike what you were bringing.
Yeah.
And I know this is part of and ladies and gentlemen, this is 15 pounds, this thing right here.
No.
This is heavy. This is heavy.
It's like a
Like 2
5-pounder.
or 3.
Okay, well, it feels heavy and it feels powerful in my hand. Thank you for bringing the props, dude. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start.
I wanted to say, I just wanted to preface, I have to preface every podcast now.
Go ahead.
Another, fine grind adjacent.
Fine grind adjacent. We met at the fine grind.
I'm actually Mystic Mike, and I'm the number one villain of the fine grind.
He is.
And I'm boycotting now. So
He's had a
I just wanted to put that out there because I have to declare myself every time.
Okay.
So, but I'm so happy to have you here.
He's on probation.
Glad
I
to be
thought you were moving in. Because you had 3 bags.
I have a Pelican.
You had a Pelican
backpack,
And thank you
case
for the
of
beer.
Yes.
Thank you for the beer, man.
Yes.
I'm glad you guys enjoy
This
it.
is
It's like one of
fantastic.
my favorites. So I hope you guys enjoy
Mondays.
it very
It's my
much.
first time drinking
Pacifico?
This. Yeah.
Oh, what?
So-
bleep that because they don't sponsor us.
No,
Just
it's
kidding,
fine.
JK.
It's all good.
But thank you for bringing the love, dude. Not a lot of people bring love for us like this.
You guys are the best. I can't
Dude,
not
thank
bring
you.
love for you guys.
I appreciate it. Why are you laughing at that? It's a genuine
no
statement.
love for us.
No, I mean like a gift.
You're right, you're right.
I want my
You
guests
made-
to bring gifts.
You
dude.
made me realize. I realized there's no
It's a
love.
real thing. Yeah, it's no love.
Yeah.
No, but I appreciate it, bro.
I want to have a quick question because I mean you do this stuff too. You do video, you
Yeah.
do audio, you do
Yes.
all this stuff. I want to do a new segment of people that are technical.
Mhm.
I want to ask what's one thing you would change about our set?
Oh,
Or a tip.
a tip. How about a tip?
O'Hagan
Career coaching,
guys. You know what I did? Out of college, I sent 5 applications. I didn't get the job, and look at me now, killing it.
Killing it.
But I'm going to be real. I had a safety net, and I don't want you to go through the same thing that I did, the heartbreak, the tough times. Get ready for that interview. Get the right questions, get the right answers for those questions. Learn how to express yourself business all the way. Because O'Hagan, Coach O, is going to get you straight. He's going to teach you. What is he going to teach you, Dave? Tell
I'm
me.
going to teach you how to prepare for interviews, what questions that are going to be asked on these interviews. You probably don't know. They're preparing things to trip you up, to mess you up, to get you uncomfortable.
Walk you into traps.
You're going to be getting like scripts, game plans. Coach O is going to walk you through with these game plans, and you're going to be so prepared for the big day. You're going to crush it.
Yes.
So go to O'HaganCareerCoaching.com. Coach O is going to set you up. There's a networking package right now. Hit him up.
Anytown, actorslab.com. Guys,
Come on.
to be or not to be.
Here we go.
Dave?
You can't act. And I'm
1
gonna-
to 10. What was that
That's
performance?
a 2. That's
Okay.
a 2,
Please
just for
watch that
breathing.
blade.
Yeah, I feel it. I have a blade in my lap, and
Guys,
that's real.
if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area,
Come on.
you get in-person classes. If not, look, we got a free online consultation, right?
Yeah.
We got Zoom classes.
Yeah.
We got crazy meet.
Coming up on 50 students.
50?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He's running out.
I know.
You guys are going to have to hop on that quick. And also, if you want to just get a taste of what he's doing, go to his TikTok. He's just giving away free gems. You're going to start learning for free, which is crazy. Also on YouTube, he's got the in-depth talks.
Podcast coming soon, by the
Really?
way. I'm going to be the first guest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Come on
That's
now.
something to look forward to. AnytimeActorsLab.com. Get on there.
Get on it.
Patreon.com/YourHeard Guys, your boy's low on money.
We need that
I need
money.
something. Please. Please. But guys, it's the best way to support us if you like what we do. If you think we're funny guys, we're cool guys, just throw us a bone on the Patreon. You got extra content on there. It's us after the podcast. If you want to shoot us a message, we're more inclined to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'll say it. You pay me $1, I'll talk to you. Patreon.com/YourHeard Podcast. Positive.
The wires are definitely a hazard, I'd say, right? Like the way they're kind of strewn about.
I was gonna put it underneath
I
the
will
rug.
literally get. So the rug is one awesome point. Yes, absolutely. Literally, just move the table, roll the rug back, and run the cables again. Just have them come from this side.
Right.
But that's work.
But that's more work.
I literally work
I'm joking.
10 minutes from here.
Yeah. Is this a hazard?
what?
Is our setup a hazard at all?
I wouldn't say it's a hazard. It could be neater, but I've
Don't
also
tell anyone
seen
that.
significantly worse sets.
Okay.
Just don't look over there.
I mean, there was one guy I used to work for when I was in high school, was high on Adderall pretty much the entire time I knew him.
Oh.
And it was a lot worse, trust me.
He was always loaded.
No, he was an interesting character.
Okay,
I'm not going to go
Let's
into
stay
him.
there. Yeah. Let's keep
There's
it.
a reason I don't work for him.
I got you. Right
but-
on. Right on. Respectfully, we move on. Hey, yeah. You gotta,
Yeah.
Okay, so cables. Okay, I got
cables
you. I
are
appreciate
a
it.
must.
I would say
Thank you.
Cable
cables,
trough.
your mics are good, your stands are good, your setup over here is great. You're running a newer Yamaha console. OBS is a great recording console.
Don't give all
Software.
the secrets. The sauce.
No. This is an awesome
Your
way.
boys-
Thanks,
This,
bro.
as a professional, this is essentially what I would do.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Is this your first podcast? No, you've been on podcasts. bro. I've
I've
known
been.
you so
I've
long.
been. This is probably my 5th or 6th.
Oh, okay, so you're
Let's
you're
go.
comfortable
Seasoned.
in this
I
environment.
wouldn't say a season.
He's a seasoned professional.
No.
Well, and thank you for listening to all the other episodes, dude. I know you
Yeah.
followed along for a while, and you've been a Patreon member in the past.
Yep.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Look at that.
It's
Look
awesome.
at that, bro. You're here.
See what can happen, guys, if you go to Patreon.
Yeah, bro.
You're gonna go through a few guys.
Patreon.com.
But so to rope in my interest right now,
Mhm.
that what you brought to the table. This is an axe from Sweden
Yes.
in my hand right now.
Yes.
You seem to collect and you seem to go out into the wilderness, and from what you've told me about like your weekends or something,
Sure.
like a days off,
Mhm.
you'll take that 8-year-old on your backpack stuffed with weaponry and food products, provisions, and just walk for a week.
I wouldn't. I've never been in the woods more than 4 nights.
4 nights.
I intend on doing a section of a trail in the Adirondacks called the North Placid Trail.
Mhm.
It's 138 miles. Goes from the northern tip of the Adirondacks to the southern
Yep.
tip. It actually was originally used as just a kind of through route before there were actually train routes going to the north. There were, of course, the northern Canadian routes. And there was one that ended in Northville, at the southern end of the Adirondacks. People would walk or ride horses the entire 138 miles, or they'd have to take a boat up Lake Champlain. Those were your 2 ways north.
Dang. Wait, so where's that start and end? You said Placid Trail?
So Lake
by
Placid
lake?
is the
Yeah.
northern terminus. The southern terminus is Northville. A lot of people don't know the town. Small little
Does
town.
terminus
cute.
mean just where it start like a point?
Start and stop. Yeah,
Terminus.
Yeah, it's a
Terminus.
man's term.
it's a trail term. It's a
Us
weird
betas
term.
are going to learn today from the
No, yeah.
alpha, dude, because
The-
I don't know this
no.
stuff. I don't know this stuff, man.
I'm by no means that knowledgeable in the woods. I know my way around surviving and just
Yeah.
kind of having a good time.
How'd you get involved, like in the outdoors? How did you start to like venture out? What was the process
Yeah.
like?
So my dad always kind of had appreciation for the woods.
Right on.
My family, my mom's side, my mom's side is primarily Southern. They were some of the first people to ever kind of homestead and move into the Cumberland Valley, Tennessee, Kentucky. Going back to pre-colonial times, a lot of the original kind of Yorks, Parkies, Haggerses that came over were 1640s, 1660s, 1680s.
So that's when your family came here?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that side of it. Now on my mom's side, the other side was fresh off the boat Italian. My grandfather.
Wow.
My dad's side, it's Pennsylvania coal miner Welsh, which is also very old, and then a German side that I don't know a ton about.
Uh-huh.
But my dad is also one of the reasons I appreciate beer. He studied brewing in Germany for a little while.
Wow.
He was chased up a tree by a boar in the Black Forest. So he's had some crazy experience. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2019. But, just lots of different kind of experiences, visiting family in Kentucky and just, walking out the back door to go shoot skeet in his backyard. And eventually, growing up, my dad would always take me canoeing up in Wawayanda, hiking.
Wow.
And for a little while living in West Milford, I would go out into the woods and just spend a night overnight. Just nothing but like a couple of things in a backpack. No tent, no nothing, no shelter.
Dang.
So where'd you sleep?
Just on the woods.
And on the floor.
Yeah, pretty much.
You made like a pad of leaves, or
I would lay one blanket down, put another blanket over, have like a shitty towel rolled up as a pillow. My mom didn't want me to bring any of the pillows out. Of course, makes total sense.
Don't dirty the pillows. From mom.
I would as a kid just bring a pillow. Like that.
I can show you the pillow that I bring. I have this is loaded with all of my gear.
Damn,
we have to do it.
But yeah, no, I eventually just kind of started really learning my way around, spending nights in the woods and driving myself out. There was one time I remember I would go up to Northern Green, Hewitt, stuff like that a lot when I was, 14, 15, 16, 17, especially driving myself. There was one time I was hiking, slipped on a rock, fell, busted the ACL, MCL, a few other tendons in my knee, and just straight up limped myself the rest of the way out, with my leg not functioning from basically the knee down. Shoved my right leg under the driver's seat and drove myself home. And was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm not sure my leg's not working. I fell." He's like, "We're going to the hospital." Oh my God. And God's provision through that. I kind of have always been the type of person to think like God's not going to do something for me. And full context, I'm a believer.
Amen.
And I was like, I'm sure God does miracles. I don't think he'd do it for me. And after enough pressure from my youth pastor, missionary, a friend of mine, my parent, my mom, some other stuff, they prayed over me. And a few weeks later, after being prayed over, I didn't feel much of a change, still hurt. Had some rescans right before surgery. And the doctor was like, I don't know what happened. At first, he was like, yelling at the nurse, telling her that she scanned the wrong leg, sends me back through. It's like, no, this is right. What's going on? And it's like, it looks like nothing ever happened. And I actually have the scans somewhere. I unfortunately, when my dad passed, I've got shits everywhere and storage and here and there. But regardless of that, so I've got some crazy stories like that of just like, being out in the woods, learning how to, just kind of hustle out and just do what I need to. And
so you just hopped out of the hospital? That's it?
What do you mean?
Like when that happened, they were just like, "Oh yeah, he's good now."
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I pretty much had a full hip to ankle leg brace on for a while because the amount of damage that existed in my knee. And on top of it, I had also had poison ivy on that section of my leg, and it was a bad time.
Brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was boiling up and it was awful. But I've had my fair share of stories in the woods and just kind of teaching myself stuff. The first time I ever spent a night in the woods, very far from home, me and my now wife were dating. She was at school in the Adirondacks. I spent a night overnight in the woods with pretty much not even a hiking backpack. I think I had like some Carhartt pack that I shoved some stuff in. And I was literally in a hammock with a bug net because my buddy had bought me one with a camping pillow and a normal blanket. That was like one of the first couple consecutive nights I spent in the woods. And after a while, did some research. I really got to know my gear. Bought some nicer stuff, and I've kind of burned through, your cheap Amazon shit, your REI shit. I've moved on to. I'm wearing Fjallravens right now. But I use.
You know that?
I know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I use a lot of Fjallraven stuff. Their rain jacket.
I have a fanny pack.
Hell yeah. No, that's cool.
He takes that to the Lower East
Their
Side.
stuff's awesome. That's actually funny. They have a store in the
There you go. There you go.
Really funny
in
thing.
Soho,
I don't know why. When I was in Japan, living there, for some reason, Fjallraven was just so big for no reason.
Was it?
It's so random. Yeah.
It's turned into a streetwear brand.
Random band. The North Face, huge for some reason.
I was big on Carhartt when I was a kid. I would always have Carhartt everything. My dad would always get me that because my dad would be working and shit. And then I started pulling stuff out, and now it's it's everywhere. So now I'm like,
that old shit's like a museum, dude. My dad, I still have his old Carhartt jacket. It's ripped up.
Sick,
people pay thousands.
They do.
Crazy.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's cool. That's pretty much where I was going.
Yeah. I relate so hard to just the woods thing. I wouldn't go that hardcore, but I for sure me and my boys we'd have to we lived so far away from each other in Ringwood, Stonetown area.
Yeah.
So
there's some good trails up there.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's one of the best spots. But we're so far away. We live 15 minutes away. We're all right, let's all meet somewhere, go up a mountain, and we would just we'd bring tents, but we would just camp and sleep. And I don't know. Yeah, that was just I don't know, that kind of thing. If you just live around that area, that's just what you did. It was fun, man. I loved it. Hiking all the time. We'd go sometimes every day. We just awesome. Do a hike. That's
the way to live.
Part of it.
The woods have I'm going to go really nerdy for a second, but
I love it.
the Emersonian kind of transcendentalist philosophy of like the woods is,
Hold
you
on
know,
gotta. We're
Sorry.
too
He was talking about the
Emersonian. You know that, right?
Yes, ideology.
Right?
Ralph Waldo Emerson,
yeah.
transcendentalist philosophy of
That's what I
just
was
like
saying.
being your own man, just like, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have read Walden by Thoreau, and just like
No,
kind of the concept
definitely
of
I never read it.
I lied. I didn't read it.
that's fine.
I'm not as well
Um,
read, I'd say.
It's okay. John Muir is like a more modern version of that. I'm sure you guys were forced to read John Muir in high school. Maybe not.
The thing about high school for me was I didn't read that.
So
I read a lot of Spark Notes.
okay, yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So granted, the idea is just like being able to go into the woods and sustain yourself. Being, one of the big quotes that I've always kind of thought of from Emerson himself was, "Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist." And the whole idea was to not be construed to a larger scale of just living. He was, an abolitionist and so on and so forth. And part of his idea was going into the woods and being yourself and just kind of, feeling connected and whether that be in a religious sense with God. And I feel like, being in the woods on a daily basis and just going on hikes and being able to make that intentional time to be out there is incredibly important and it's
Yes.
completely and totally overlooked. And that's why even like large companies have, REI has a couple of nonprofits that pushes towards, bringing nature closer to inner city areas. And just like allowing, everybody should be 5 minutes from nature in some way, shape, or
100%.
form, whether it be, somebody walking over to Union Square and just walking around, or Central Park,
For
walking
sure.
around the Ramble, or, again, hopping on a bus and going up to, Bear Mountain.
Why do you think that is? It has such a positive impact on human beings, the wilderness, nature.
So this is, some people would definitely argue against me on this, but I definitely think that there's a valid connection between God's creation and kind of being in his creation and his kind of environment and having a connection with him. I mean, who does not look at a sunset or a sunrise or a beautiful mountain and not go, wow, this is cool. There's something in the recesses of our psychological, processing that sees that. And there's almost a spiritual experience. Now, whether you experience it as a Christian or however, that's your own walk. But I definitely think that it's incredibly important to be able to kind of identify that and being able to make those connections. Like me, myself, I do grounding meditative exercises a lot when I'm in the woods. And I think that's really important. Anyway, sorry.
Grant, I want to learn more about that. That's so true though. Is like when you look at a sunset, sometimes you're just like, how does this even make sense?
Yeah.
Like a rainbow, it's like there's no way you could just like what it just
Throw this
happened
together on accident?
just like randomly happened. It
There's
makes no
some
sense.
kind of creation element going on here. It
Yeah.
feels like when you witness it.
I love the idea though that you're saying is like, imagine you,
Don't hit me.
like for real.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You take all this like you take your plan is one day, survive through the night. You think you come up with what you're gonna bring. No one else, just you. You get a pack. You prepare. You got everything you need.
Yeah.
Like minimum to survival. Like think about what will happen to your like mental state the next day. Like what you will feel like the next day.
Dude, I feel great.
If you made it through.
I feel great when I forget my phone in the house when I walk the dog. Like that feels good. That walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So imagine a night solo, like in
No,
the
for
wilderness.
real. I think like I remember.
I need that.
Shout out to my friend Eric, Edric the Unwise, my boy on Twitch stream sometimes. I love him. But he's out in Portland, Oregon, and we like get so hyped about like hiking and all this stuff too. And whenever I go visit him, we always like go on a hike. We go up Mount Hood and stuff.
Oh, Hood's great.
And, like it's so cool. But like he got more interested and it was like he got into foraging and stuff, and he found like a guide to like show him through like certain herbs or plants, stuff like that. It's like the whole world. And he did like his first solo camping kind of like thing, and like he said like it felt like a like he was on a trip. Like it was insane.
Yeah.
Like through the night hearing shit like psyching your whole mind. Like, think about what your mind will go through.
Dude.
You know what I mean? If you're, especially you, because like
I'd panic.
you've never been out there.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
feel like I panic.
Yeah, but like imagine making it through.
Making
Like,
it through,
what does that
yeah.
do for you?
Yeah.
You know?
I can imagine how much.
I've never gotten to the solo
great that's
part.
gotta feel.
I haven't gotten yet.
Yeah.
I've been on like big solo hikes a lot, like,
Sure.
especially during COVID. Like
Mm.
I was like, I just got to go every day. I want to go.
Mhm.
My goal was like keep going like higher elevation hikes. Just, I don't know, but I want to
Have
do like a
you-
solo hike.
Have you done any of the high peaks in the Catskills or the Adirondacks? Or
I never went out there.
Okay.
No, I need to.
you should come with me sometime.
I'm down, dude.
Yeah, I go up there most of the time.
Remember the hike we went on?
Yeah, I love
We
it.
went to High Point
For
in
my birthday.
Oh,
At a Weiss Center.
For my
Yeah.
birthday, he took me up there.
Yeah,
Wife came. It was
it was pretty tough, right?
beautiful. Yeah, it was tough. But
Yeah.
it was fun, man. Teddy came.
Yeah.
Remember?
Somehow
He was a puppy.
with those little legs,
Dude, we just got him. He was like a couple months old, and he had a bear costume on, like a bear sweater. He was so little. He looked like a little sheep, and he was just
Yeah.
like hopping on the rocks all the way up. And I was like, dude, this little guy can move, man. He
Yeah.
moseyed right up that mountain, bro, as a puppy. That was a
Yeah.
beautiful hike.
That was
And
one of those growing up because that was right by me. I would
Dude,
bike there,
yeah.
and then
the Eagles are on the
Yeah.
they're on the ridge line there. Dude, it's beautiful up there.
yeah,
Beautiful.
That whole section of the AT. if anybody lives in New Jersey, New York, is not done pretty much from like West Milford area through like Warwick. Highly suggest it. Even just doing like day hikes.
yeah. I forgot how blessed I was just in my backyard,
Going up there.
just walk to the.
Yeah.
Me and my friends would be walking, and we see like a little like state line. I'm like, what? In the trail.
Trail.
And I'm like, what the heck?
yeah, dude.
It's awesome, man.
Dude.
Evan, what's one of like your favorite hikes you've done?
Are we saying local or anywhere?
Of all time.
Rainier was really cool.
Where's
But
that? That's in
it's Washington.
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cascades, Northern Cascades of Washington.
That's a dream.
That's really cool. But especially
DC?
as you what
DC? No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
that some of the hikes up there, you really need to know what you're doing though, because pretty much anything above like 10K, you're looking at glacier walking.
Whoa.
So like you need spikes, you need snowshoes, you need cold weather gear. Even if it's 50, 60, 70 at the bottom of the mountain, it could be well below freezing at the beginning.
Yeah, right.
It's a
well
different,
below freezing.
different beast, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then like especially Whiteface in the Adirondacks, it's very similar. Even just the other night,
What was that?
when the like big cold spell we got, I think it hit 31 at the top, like it almost at zero with wind chill.
That's crazy.
And it's one of the few places on the East Coast that you can actually see something called flagpole trees, where all the branches face one direction because all the other ones have been blown off.
Whoa.
Yeah, but like
whoa.
seriously, there are times you'll go to the top of Whiteface, and again, there's no way to drive up during the winter, but you can snowshoe, ski, whatever, and go to the top there, and it'll be negative 100 with wind chill,
Dude.
literally.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I even just like where I went to school, it was like at 1,000, 1,500 feet, it was like negative 25, negative 30 with wind chill.
What?
Like all the time. I would walk to
Oof.
class and my entire beard and mustache would be
Frozen.
frozen solid.
Wait, in high school you had a beard mustache?
No, college.
Oh, college. I mean.
Sorry, I must have misspoke.
No,
That's my apologies.
that's my interpretation.
Don't
Yeah.
call my friend up.
No, I'm because in college I couldn't grow that. I didn't know.
No, yeah. When I was by the time I went to college, it was 2019. I was 19, 20, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that if anybody could, it's fairly accessible. There's a couple boulder crawls, but I think the number one hike that I would always suggest to people is from the lodge to Lake Colden, the Adirondacks. It's not super easy. There's a ton of high peaks there. You've got Algonquin, Iroquois, Wright, and Boundary that are all 4,800 and above. You've got Colden that's like 46, I think, somewhere around there. That's on the far side. But you have these series of lakes that are these basically just big grooves cut in between these massive mountains. And one section across Avalanche Lake, there's no clean way because it's literally rock face on either side going down into the lake. And there's some boats that the rangers use to get in and out because they have some interior outposts there where they help coordinate rescues and stuff like that. There's some really sketchy sections of the trail up there. Whether it be the trap dike, that people have to get rescued via helicopter all the time up there.
He's pointing at me, dude. You can't keep pointing at me for everything. You're the white face.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I like to have fun, dude.
Don't call me the
I
trap
gotta, you know
dyke.
me,
Hey,
bro.
don't point at me after he says trap dyke. Can't say that. And you
But,
can't do
I didn't
that.
say anything, dude.
You said a lot with a point.
No,
right?
I didn't say nothing.
There's this one thing called the Hitch Up Matildas. There's 2 of them. And literally there's a story where there's a trail guide that literally said there was supposedly a woman named Matilda that he was guiding through. And he's like, all right, hitch up your, petticoat or whatever you're wearing. Like, it's time to walk across these logs that were literally fastened to the stone wall.
No.
Now it's planks that are fastened via bolts, but it's still it's 2 2x4s basically that you're standing on, and if it goes, you're straight down into the lake. There is no other rocks to climb on. But there's some boulder crawls, then a boulder crawl, then that, and then you can go into Lake Colden. And I mean, there are rangers around. There's always people around. There's been a couple times I've gone up there, and there's one time genuinely the first time I was up there alone. I straight up had an anxiety attack because I knew that the only other person was maybe someone who was in the interior outpost, like a half mile from me. And other than that, I mean, I'm, a good ways from the lodge, which is probably the nearest place. And then Lake Placid was 5-6 miles or 5-6 hours worth of hiking plus, 40-minute drive. But so you're out there, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm alone.
Yeah.
And I heard a barred owl, and it was sounding like a woman screaming. I was like, I don't know if that was a mountain lion, a barred owl, or straight up someone screaming up the hill.
Someone just fell.
Matilda.
So yeah, Matilda. So yeah, no, the woods can be scary, but if you keep your wits about it and understand it in a logical way, that the fact that there are just animals that make some weird ass noises.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna try.
It's really a test, man.
I'm gonna go camping. We're gonna start with
You
camping.
should go, man.
We got to get out in the woods.
I want to bring you out.
Yeah, I would love that. And then maybe an overnight hike.
Yeah,
So-
I.
Hey, cheers to Dad for bringing nature
For
to
real.
you and for you sharing it with us,
Cheers,
buddy.
boys.
Cheers to Pop.
For real.
So
I gotta be real. I eventually want to climb Mount Fuji. You're coming.
Yeah.
And
We're
you're
going.
coming.
We're going.
Thank you for the invite.
It doesn't have to be in
the late
a couple
invite,
of
but I'll
years.
take
yeah.
it.
No, we're all gonna go.
I appreciate
I want to train to do that
Yeah.
one day.
How do you train for that? You just do it. You just go up, keep going up.
Yeah, just
So
get fit.
climbing is a really interesting thing because there's not a ton of clean ways to train for it. So there's
Yeah.
actually a guy in the Adirondacks. He runs a podcast called 46 of 46 podcast. He
Shout
originally did it as
Shout out.
a guide to climb each of the 46 high peaks, but he does a physical training thing as a certified guide, physical trainer. There's really a bunch of really awesome guys in the Adirondacks that all do fantastic work. Jonathan Zaharik's another one. He's a Cedarville graduate, worship leader, but also has done he's redlining the whole High Peaks region. He's gridding it. Hikers can understand what I'm saying. It's fine.
Yeah.
But he's
I get
serious. There's some really crazy dudes up there. And the really interesting thing is there's 2 ways to train. It's a really weird regimented way of training, or just getting the fuck out there and just getting on a mountain, going hiking, and just doing it.
It's repetition, just getting out and doing it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're working weird muscles sometimes. You know?
Elevation stuff too is no joke as well.
That's serious, bro.
yeah.
You lose the oxygen.
Yeah.
You're working with half the amount of oxygen, a quarter of the amount of oxygen, or whatever.
Yeah, it depends on the altitude, but yeah.
Oof.
Fuji, how tall Fuji is? I'm not sure.
I don't.
Okay.
I know it's in Japan.
Yeah, yep, it is. Definitely is.
that.
You got that one. Good
Yeah,
job,
man.
Dave.
Thank you.
But definitely the
First step.
the difference I had from most of my hiking's been East Coast, and I did a couple in Poland.
Mm.
I went up.
Did you bring your
mad
your
tall-
Ravenclaw bag with you? Sorry.
my what?
Your fanny pack?
Fjall
Oh
Raven.
yeah, my Fjall Raven.
Fall Raven.
I did. No, I didn't. I didn't have it then. But that was crazy, and we went part up way by a gondola, and then we went to the peak, and
Yeah.
we were on chains and everything. I was
Yeah.
I was 17. I was I don't know what I'm doing out here. It's crazy. I used to.
It got
I
serious.
hiked back in Ringwood. It was cool, but
Yeah.
It gets
this
serious.
I was bro.
There's stuff like that all over Europe.
But it was beautiful, man. Oh my god, the peaks. You're walking just on ridge to ridge, all the way to. It's on the top of the mountain ranges, and the one really iconic mountain range is called the Spionce, which is a sleeping night. So it looks like it's someone sleeping.
Oh, that's so
You go all the way to his nose, and it's just
That's
it's
beautiful.
just something about
Yeah.
I love just going really high up like that.
Yeah.
I don't like heights, but I like going up a big mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Mountains are
dangerous. It's
beautiful.
crazy,
What parts of nature would you say are your like the one? If you could boil down like an element of nature that resonates with you the most.
Woods, 110%. I like lakes. Don't get me wrong,
Lakes.
but like I always want to be near water. So I usually try and carry like 2.5 liters of water where I'm going. But like, you know, I feel like especially like big pine forests.
Big pine forest.
Like out here, you can find huge stands of even hemlocks and stuff like that. But like spruce traps and just like the way like ground gets real marshy, kind of like mossy and like spruce traps and even out west with some of the redwoods and stuff like that. It's something special. Some of the rainforests out in the Olympic Peninsula.
What's your favorite tree, dude?
No, I was gonna say streams is my favorite, bro. I like streams, dude.
I like you.
I like Douglas firs and I like streams, bro.
I love you, dude. I love you too, fucking
bro.
love you, man. That's
Go,
awesome.
what's yours, bro?
There's something that once you get to like kind of like mountain elevation, when the trees start turning like more dense, like I don't know, I just love that you can clearly see like the difference.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know, there's something like about that.
I love that.
But you can't beat like a lake, man.
The lake is powerful.
Can't beat a lake.
The lake is powerful, dude.
Oh
yeah,
that's a
when you go up a big hike and you're just like just a lake on top of a mountain.
I know.
Hey, just God's cup. Like, what are we doing? You know,
God's bowl of cereal,
bathtub, man.
Yeah, bro.
It's awesome.
No, that's beautiful. Lakes, bodies of water, streams.
I feel like there's one spot you'd like. It's called Tier of the Clouds.
I heard of that.
Have you?
I think so.
So it's technically the headwaters of the Hudson. It's up in the Adirondacks.
Oh, it is? Oh, I never heard of
Marcy. Yeah, I've not been to that specific spot, been in that section of the Yeah, it really is. From what I understand. I've seen tons of photos. I've never been to that specific part of the High Peaks region, but it's incredible.
Could I make it, you think? Just by looking at me?
Probably, yeah. You're fit enough.
I really wanted to ask about Dave's kind of like chances.
Yeah, I would like to know.
You'd be all right. You both would be all right.
I'm pushing, I'm 34.
I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
We should be good.
We're all big guys, though.
We're chilling.
Here's the thing.
I know if we're all out there together,
we'll make it.
No bears coming at us.
Right? We'd be probably, yeah. What do you think about that? How do you feel about the bear situation? And have you experienced any bears before?
Oh, tons.
Any run-ins?
Yeah. Just like a week or two ago, I was hiking up in just off of White Road in Hewitt. Yep. And you probably know the trail right off of the road that goes up towards Warwick. The 2 lanes and then 1 lane. There's a section that goes off towards Terrace Pond. And I'm coming back through. I've got my trekking poles. And I'm just cruising through and I just hear... And the tree's doing this in front of me. Trekking poles are on the ground, knifes out, and I'm just ready to rock.
Just like laid out.
This bear hits the ground, 2 cubs, and they just take off.
Oh, my...
I had that.
So look at that. Show the camera this.
I was just...
Look
threw the trekking pole down, and I just...
Oh, shit.
It is actually really sharp. Do be careful.
Mike, he cut his knuckle open.
Yeah, I had to get almost got it. Had to go a couple stitches.
Crazy.
But yeah, so I pulled that. Trekking poles were down, pulled that, and I was ready to rock, and bear took off.
Dude, but what are your chances, you think, with that?
This could do some damage. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah? You probably got to take a shot from the bear. Like, you got to give up an arm or something.
I mean, it's the first rule of fighting with knives. If somebody pulls a knife, somebody's going to cut.
Okay.
And the same thing with animals.
That's gangster. That's gangster. If someone pulls a knife, someone's getting cut, dude.
No, if it's you or the other guy, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to get cut. Somebody's going to bleed.
Holding this.
Yeah.
It's like,
but
you know.
No, yeah, it's. I mean, fucking with animals is never going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Look at my baby hand holding that back. My pinky didn't even touch it.
I actually haven't cleaned this since I cut myself.
I'm saying,
my blood
got some bear blood on there, bro.
No, his blood.
That actually might be my blood right there.
Damn.
Well,
that's some gangster shit.
That's fine.
We're closer now.
Wow.
We're a bit closer now.
Dude, what's in the pack? Because I want to like.
Yeah.
I mean, you want me to empty it?
Yeah, I want to
show and tell.
the pack. Yeah, dude, right?
Oh yeah, what's like a survival?
That I wouldn't even know. Yeah,
it's actually great.
So there are definitely a couple of pieces of kit that aren't in here that I would have. I don't have my filter with me because I didn't feel like rehydrating it.
Water filter.
You have one of those like pen ones, or
I have a couple of different
like a bag
systems. I use Katadyn Be Free. That is a larger cap. Uses like a platypus, like soft membrane style bag.
I always have a platypus rucksack.
It's good company. They make good packs.
No, I skin a platypus and
Yeah.
I think we should have like a sponsorship for these companies. One of these companies, dude.
I don't do it enough.
Dude, oh my god.
Nah, it takes a lot to get a sponsorship from some of these guys. And
Is
then
that an egg carton? I know it's a stupid question.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's an egg carton.
Yeah.
dude.
So fun fact.
No, that's the grenade.
The mortar shells.
Egg cartons.
What in the world?
So
hold your
You gotta
eggs.
keep the eggs, dude.
So
That's
fun
perfect.
fact,
Come on,
if
dog.
you
Protein.
buy eggs from a farm, if they're unwashed, they will last 2 weeks unrefrigerated.
What?
So, yeah,
That's your American
Completely-
fucking upbringing, bro.
Wait,
Yeah.
why?
See what they teach you, dude?
They
because
have like a membrane on them?
yeah.
See
Yep.
what they teach you.
But I will say also, if you don't wash them at all, there is a case of salmonella, other things, contaminants. So it's a give and take.
Right.
That it is genuinely a health hazard at times
Yeah.
if you're not careful. There's less food than I would usually have. There's my medical kit is ripped apart in my bedroom, still kind of rebuilding certain things.
Yeah.
I don't want to reuse gauze. I use quick clot gauze.
Look at that
stuff
thumb. Look at that thumb.
Yeah. So it was from here to here down into my joint.
Saw the white, he said.
Yeah. No, once you see white,
Yeah.
my
I've been there a couple
thumb
times.
still kind of cracks. So this is my normal thumb range of motion. This is it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it cracks sometimes and I'll pull on it and pop it back out. And it's definitely a little fucked up still, but that's all right.
It scared me so much when I saw white. I got cut right here on a nail.
You saw white?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Rusty
Yep.
nail, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. I did something like that in Guatemala one time. I ripped my
Yeah.
arm open on rusty barbed wire. But I mean,
It's literally
Oh, you
packed.
were crossing borders, dude? What were you doing?
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
no, it was on a
I
mission
drink
trip.
these all the time.
Oh, Noons? Yeah, they're great.
I love
Really?
those.
If
things,
there's
dude.
any one company I get a sponsorship
Noon?
from, it would be them.
Noon.
Nooms?
Yeah,
Noon.
awesome
Shout
stuff.
out.
Noon.
One of my favorite companies, Petzl. I love their climbing harnesses as well. But this is a headlamp. There's other stuff I've got. So again, when you're hiking and backpacking, there are not always toilets. And if there is a toilet, there is never going to be toilet paper. So pack your own toilet paper.
Now, what's like the
Spoon.
if there's a leaf you had to use, what leaf would you use?
Anything that doesn't look oily.
Wow. Now
Yeah.
you're attracted to oil, so you'd pick the oil leaf.
That's my one hang up with camping, dude.
Come on, man.
Head net, because the Adirondacks gets pretty buggy.
A
A
Different
head net?
maps.
Oh, so
Head net.
it drapes
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
your hat.
Yep. Catskills,
Oof, I love this.
Lake Placid, Lake
love it.
George.
Can we just look at can we look at maps more?
Can
we just
I
do
want
that?
maps in my hand, dude.
I can show you on that map some of the hikes I've done.
Oh,
What
that's
else?
your fork spoon thing. Your
Yeah, that's
spork.
my spork.
Yeah, there it is.
Long titanium, weighs
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
You'll get there, dude. Don't worry. We'll get you a spork.
I need a spork.
So smaller bag that I can throw like day hike stuff
Little day
in.
pack,
So
you know.
sometimes I'll hike
No
in.
big
I want to
deal.
do a couple peaks, and I don't want to bring everything with me because
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yep.
come back down and go to a different peak.
Yeah.
Fjallraven rain jacket. It's just one of their lower models. This is a hydraulic something trail. I forget. This one's not bad. It's like 275, so it's less than others, more than some.
Right.
We're not like that Arcteryx level yet, you know.
Fuck that. No
That
reason.
should, yeah, there's
If
no
you're not
reason, right?
climbing Everest, you don't need
Yeah.
Arcteryx.
Yeah.
You don't, genuinely.
It's funny how it became just like a fashion and thing now.
Did it?
It's so weird.
It's
It's just
infuriating.
climbing gear. It's so funny.
Yeah, no. So
There's just like rappers and like Arcteryx. It's so funny, dude.
No, yeah, there's a school that I do their graduation every year.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
and there's always this like one kid,
They're
like,
going
the
to Dunkin' Donuts and they're
older brother of like
Arctic
one of the
gear.
girls graduating, and he's running around in a $750 Arcteryx.
$750?
yeah. They go
Basically version of that with like a small, it's a 3-layer instead of a 2.5, but anyway.
Dude.
So pack cover, this
That's a pillow,
is
No?
it's a dry bag.
Dry bag.
So in here
love
you've
it.
got everything from, which I'm actually probably going to throw on 'cause it's nice and cool in here. Synthetic puffy jacket. I'm going to put this over here so I don't cut anything.
Just gonna fly right through the couch.
Gator to put up around my neck, hat and gloves. This is a basically like a mattress
Oh, okay.
with that I just gonna
It's like one of those that blow up a little bit.
So there's a
Little
bag, basically, yeah. So
I
it's
feel
not
like those just suck.
if you get like Dick's Sporting Goods brand or
Yeah.
Walmart brand, absolutely. That's like almost $200. It's
Oh, okay.
insulated.
Yeah.
It's got like a 2-way system. It's awesome. Big Agnes is one of the betters out there. This is a
Big
titanium
Agnes, dude,
cook
that's you.
kit.
Titanium cook kit.
butane,
Butane.
Yep.
bear can with food still in it from my last trip. Different odds.
Now,
and
what are we
ends.
snacking on? What's in there?
this
Dave,
is what,
take
this
one
is
out,
what I
Dave.
want to
Take one
know.
out, Dave.
That's what I'm about here.
See what he's got on there.
What are you working with? What are we snacking on?
Because this is Dave's hang up.
On the trail.
This is a hang up.
Yeah.
So
Are those Cheerios? My
No,
man.
I don't
That's
have
elbow
many
noodles.
snacks. So these are good. This is what I usually use for kind of keeping myself moving. Tapioca chews. This anchovies, they're like $8 a can. So they're fucking expensive, but it's in olive oil. It's made by Patagonia, actually. Some of the best anchovies you can buy with money.
Really?
So good.
That's a little too exotic for Dave.
Trail pour over coffee.
Oh,
Yep, those are the best.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they started making those, dude. Like the little fold out ones.
Yeah, it's literally like a piece of paper.
You know, like pour over thing. It's like a paper thing. It just opens. You pour.
No way.
Yeah, it'll literally has like hooks that'll go
Yeah,
up. Like
And it
those are
just
cups.
hangs on and
Yeah,
you
it just
strip
hangs
over.
on the
Just
sides
boil
of the
water,
cup.
put it in.
Wow.
These are Stroop
Love Stroop waffles,
Come
dude.
on now. Oatmeal.
Kodiak oatmeal.
There we go.
Oh my
It's cheap.
gosh.
You buy like a
Yep.
whole box of them, throw them in there.
I see it all.
You just need some hot water.
That's
you're chilling.
peach crisp.
Ooh, that's probably hits so hard, dude.
Oh, what? Yeah.
On a cold night, some peach crisp.
That's just a rehydratable peach crisp.
Come on, man.
Beef bolognese.
Oh, what?
You've
Yep.
got
Wait, so you put just this in water and it's
Yeah.
chilling?
yeah, boiling water.
Rehydrate.
So the directions are on the back. This is a 3-cheese mac and cheese. I'll usually throw a can of chicken or anchovies in this.
Dude, I should just do this at home. Right? I made dinner,
How much
honey.
protein's it got?
Right?
How much protein's it got?
Dude, it's got 480 calories, 28 grams of protein.
Come on now.
Some of them are like, dude, straight up. Some of them are like ridiculously high counts of calories and
Wow.
protein.
You're burning through
40,
too.
40, 50, 60 grams of protein, almost north of 1,000 calories. Like super crazy. And I just have, mac and cheese, stuff like that.
Rehydration time doubles every 5,000 feet of elevation gain.
Yep. That's
crazy.
So that's actually already calculated for 5,000 feet.
Right.
So I actually have to calculate it back down at sea
Oh,
level.
really?
Oh, okay.
But if I'm at the top of a peak, it actually hydrates about
Oh yeah,
correct time.
5,000.
Yeah.
Thank you for
there
entertaining us with
Thanks,
this,
Yeah,
bro.
so that's food.
That's so cool, man.
Don't worry, we'll be
Trail-
having like ramen.
Trail wipes. Keep yourself clean. Get the salt off you.
Got you.
But wipe.
Dude
Basically.
wipes? Dude wipes?
Basically like the trail safe version.
Trail safe.
This is a little bit more sophisticated. This is a tourniquet.
If, God forbid.
Yeah, I mean shit happens.
Yeah.
Some other odds and ends, band-aids,
Did you ever have to do
gauze. Never a tourniquet.
Thank God.
Thank God. Hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit an artery somewhere up your arm,
it's over.
kind of thing,
Oh, dude, I saw a video on Twitter. Someone just got
Why?
some dude just got stabbed out of nowhere
Yeah.
by a friend, and you see him
Ugh.
within a second.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
No, and that's the thing. Tourniquet usually means you're losing that limb, but at least you're not losing your life.
What?
You will bleed out if you're not careful.
Yeah,
Anyway, this is a tarp. I usually put this over my hammock.
Oh, so you're chilling in the hammock.
You're doing.
Oh yeah, no, I sleep in a hammock.
Hell yeah, dude. I gotta be real.
Steaks.
I think it's probably
That's
the
the
most
move?
comfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
So here's
It's
what you
got-
got to do though. Can't just sleep in one of those Enos or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You can't. So this is a little more sophisticated. Has a steel ridgeline. Has a built-in bug net.
Whoa.
It's about 9 feet. So it's enormous. I actually usually have to have the trees be like 20, 25 feet apart.
Whoa.
But the amount of sag you get in is so comfortable.
Yeah.
Has a built-in foot box, so your
Oh,
feet actually have like a
come
box to go
Oh,
into.
that's awesome.
This is awesome. Dutchware. Awesome,
How much
awesome
was that?
stuff. I think these usually run like 275, 300,
Right.
depending on what.
Dude,
what
I'm
you're
like
looking
doing
at.
numbers. This is like a serious pack.
This
That's a
is
lot.
and this isn't even like the nicest stuff you can get by any means. This is a 15 degree rated down sleeping bag.
Heck yeah.
I love that.
Super nice. Has vents so you can use it a little warmer,
Heck yeah.
or you can zipper it and leave it open. Actually has a pocket for your camp pillow to go in.
Ooh.
Really neat.
Come on now. Come on now.
Is my pillow.
You getting excited, dude?
Yeah, I'm amped
I like
up.
this stuff, dude. I love it.
Can I be real with you guys?
Yeah.
I had one major fear when I was thinking of you in the hammock, you guys in the hammock,
Uh huh.
or me in a hammock.
Don't say a bear chomping
No,
your butt.
Another person walking up while I'm in a hammock because I'm defenseless.
That's one thing I want to ask.
Have you ever had an encounter with another person on the trail that was
Oh,
like
yeah.
odd?
Yeah. A couple times.
That's the weirdest shit.
Can you describe that? Because that's my biggest fear, I think, aside from a bear.
So
attack?
it's only happened one time. Now, honestly, more often than not, especially in the Adirondacks and stuff like that, you end up running into people from Canada.
Okay.
And a lot of times they only speak French.
Yep.
And so you're trying to communicate with them and you're getting nowhere.
Wow.
It is awful. And sometimes they have like one friend who they can like try and pull over from another campsite that knows some just enough to like communicate. And it's like, how do you exist in like Canada's an English speaking country?
Yeah.
Like it's not like no one comes through your city of
I guess
Montreal
that's like
or
the
Ontario.
Quebec line. It gets pretty French there, man.
In Montreal, when I went, a lot of people were speaking French to each
it
other,
gets
but they
super
all
French.
spoke English to me. One girl
Yeah,
didn't.
so it depends
One girl
on where
didn't.
in the city.
I remember one girl couldn't speak English. And I
You
was
looked
like,
a little French.
well, it's before I was married, before I was dating anyone.
Oh,
Mm.
Tried to approach her, and she said
Good luck.
no English, and it was over very quick before it began. Over before it began, dude.
come on now. That was quick.
There's my
What?
pillow.
There it is.
There's my
That
pillow.
looks so comfortable.
Oh, that's actually nice,
That
dude.
looks
It has a nice
so-
cushion.
Yeah,
on it, too.
it's real nice.
What?
Yeah.
It's more comfortable than my normal pillow.
Yeah.
How much is this?
I think those run like $40.
I need this.
Yeah,
I need the.
that's-
I need
Yeah, they're
the
not
link.
terrible.
I'm buying it because I need it. my-
And again, you saw how small it packed down.
My pillow is my sweatshirt.
Yeah. No, honestly, a lot of times
I hate it.
you just shove up like especially if it's nice and warm out, you shove
Yeah.
like some of your cold weather gear in a t-shirt.
And you're chilling.
Works great.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
It's not the best, but I mean, look, it could be worse.
But tell me about this encounter. Human being encounter.
This guy was a bit weird. I was in Farrow Lake Wilderness. I had hiked in, and there's one specific spot that I really, really like camping at there. It's Lean-To 5. It's out on a peninsula. It's like literally right off the water. It's called Watch Rock, and you can walk out on the rock and look at the entire lake. It's enormous. Just one of the most stunning things you'll see. I can show you guys photos at some point. And so I rock up, and it's getting dusk, and there's other open lean-tos, and it was very clear that it was like fall. It was like a weekday. There's this older guy sitting in like a camp chair down by the water writing in a notebook. I'm like, hey, I'm just walking through. I understand if you want to be alone. It's, the lean-tos are first come, first serve. I can go grab another site. I'm in a hammock though. I can be far away from you. I like, coming over and watching the sunrise, the sunsets on the rock. I want to be alone.
Oh.
Okay, no problem. And he stands up. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I always
Would you knife out? Do you have the knife?
I had it on my belt.
You're right.
I was ready to rock if I needed to. And so he stands up and he's like, yeah, I came out here to be alone. Going off. And I'm like, oh boy. And he's starting to walk towards me.
Oh no.
Not fast. Not like fast. But he was definitely like clearly having a hard time. I don't know if he just lost his wife or who knows. Clearly having some form of distress. And I'm like, no problem, man. I'm on my way. I'll go grab another site. And he keeps going. And I turn back around and I go, if you don't stop following me, I'm going to put you back in your fucking chair. He goes, fine. Turns around, goes back and sits down. I don't care. Like I carry protection of sorts, and whether it be knife or whatever else. And I
Hell yeah.
I follow all state laws.
Yeah. Respect, man.
And no, yeah, I mean, he left me alone, and I didn't see him the rest of the trip. I went to a different lean-to, and I didn't see him. It was fine.
I would not sleep that night. There's no way I sleep that night. In that kind of encounter. Knowing he's out there.
That was like a sick, I gotta learn like cool things to say like that.
I mean,
Put you in your seat.
effing chair,
I'll
bro.
put you in your seat.
I mean,
You step
granted, he
closer.
was not particularly big.
Yeah.
He was probably,
Yeah.
5'10", something
Yeah.
like that. I'm 6'3". I'm a big.
You never know though out in the wilderness.
and it's
Especially the
Greatest
Adirondacks,
predators,
people are
yeah.
weird, man.
Yeah.
Like he could have been carrying. He could have been like,
100%,
who knows?
100%.
Don't
wanna be
alone. All right,
Yeah,
But
man.
then
I
stop
was like-
moving towards me. Then
Okay,
you know?
dog.
Sorry.
Stop moving towards me.
Yeah, I was like, I said like 3 times, no worries, I'll go grab another site. And then after that, I was like, if you want to rock, I'll roll. Like,
See, another one.
Mm.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
Put you back in your seat, and if you want to rock, I'll roll.
I didn't actually
You gotta
say
learn
that,
that
one
shit.
I don't know anything.
You got to learn
I'm
how to
just like,
talk like that.
Please don't. That's what I said. I say, no, thank you.
Sir.
Nah, dude, especially in like New York City in traffic, I'm a menace sometimes. So like I
It
work in
comes out
production,
in
like
traffic.
you guys are saying,
Yeah.
and like I'm a salaried staff guy. So sometimes I'm at a show and they're like, hey, there's another show up at this site and we just put in an order at B&H. Can you just run around for a minute? Sure. So I'll hop on a city bike. I'll run from Cooper up to B&H, grab something, run it over to a site by Union Square, and then come back. And I remember there was one time I picked this up off of a buddy of mine that I used to work with. And this cab was just not respecting the fact that there was, you know, in New York City, there's the bike lane that's kind of part of the
Respecting
lane.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, cabs are
They're
cabs and those
deadly.
like Vespa delivery drivers.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
hit by one of those guys.
Did you
one time.
really?
Not a good time. Anyway, I just look over and I go,
Did you rock when he rolled?
I was about this close to taking his fucking mirror off.
Oh, I bet.
And I look over and go, what do you have, a lifetime subscription to Disney Plus? And the guy looks over and goes, yeah, because you're fucking goofy.
Oh my god.
His eyes go wide like moons and he hits the brakes and the guy in the back is already laughing.
Wow.
He's a passenger and he's fucking road raging with me. And I'm like, sometimes when people walk on a do not walk, I'm like, hey, does the hand have to reach out and fucking smack you? I'm awful. I'm convinced I'm going to start an actual fight in New York City. It's going to go really bad. But yeah, I'm a menace sometimes.
You
It's
need
all right.
these, dude. 'Cause
I
you're
need
a
these
confrontation
encounters,
guy.
man.
It's got the big red hand. What's he got to reach out and hit you in the mouth? Like,
You always. That's the problem you have. You never have a good comeback.
No, I just it's like I can't communicate.
if you had
it
that,
with nothing
I feel like it would like take away a little. You know.
I've had a cool quip to like get out. I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of
That's some
reaction.
power. That's power, dude.
Yeah. Because then you stun them. Then they're like, oh,
Yeah.
what? Like,
Then-
they don't know what to do.
Because you really can't do anything
no.
in that situation. But if you hit him with a good one, they're like, "All right, that was good. That was
Good,
fucking, that was
man.
really good."
well, either they're like, yo, that's good, or they end up getting more mad and they
Yeah.
push
That
you
could
into the
be too.
road or push you off the road or something.
Dude, I was trying to
Things
get.
happen.
I just came through Holland Tunnel. You know how it kind of has that circle,
Yeah.
that like whatever that eyeball. So I'm coming around the side of it. This guy cuts me off. This older guy. I don't know, but I pull up to the side of him and I'm like, what the fuck? Like he almost killed me. Like there was cars everywhere and like we were going pretty fast and he cut me off on like a second, dude. And he didn't. And he threw up the finger. He threw up the middle finger at me. At me. After cutting me off. So I was blood red mad. I just got crazy.
Yeah.
Pulled up alongside of him.
Okay.
And I'm screaming at him. Like, I rolled the window down. He's rolling the window down at me. And I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? This and that. And he's screaming at me. He's like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where I'm going. And so we're having this conversation like through the screams.
There you go.
We're having a weird conversation. And by the end of the conversation, it's like, he's like, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. And I'm like, it's all right. But it's okay. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's fine. Have a good day. He's like, thank you. He's kind of like farted away. It was
That's
the most like amicable screaming match ever. Like ended on like, I kind of respect that guy. You know, he
Yeah.
apologized.
Yeah.
And I was like, and my rage just, it's like when you're mad,
Yeah.
you're so mad and something happens you weren't predicting. And it puts a hole in the anger balloon. So it's deflating as you're trying to keep it, that anger going, but
Yeah,
you're literally losing steam. So we were just losing steam yelling at each other. We were just trying to like keep the air in the balloon. And it was so funny by the end of it just being like, sorry. It's okay.
No, that's the best.
Have a good day.
That's the best way road rage can
It's the best
stop.
way.
Like-
It's the best way. The dude, this one homeless guy though, I just said the story to him before. Corner of 42nd and 8. We're at Port Authority. I was with my friend she's a young girl,
Sure.
actress, and we were just chatting about something before I went back into Port Authority. Homeless dude just comes out of the peripheral, right, and he's like muttering things. Just
Port
and he keeps
Authority
getting
can go one of two ways.
right? And the one street we're on is a construction zone, so you can't walk through it.
Okay.
It wasn't 8th. It was like 42nd or whatever, 43rd.
Yeah.
That in between street.
Oh, like the bus alley.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I know what
So
you're talking about.
we couldn't walk through it. So we're kind of pinned in the corner. This guy just comes, and I was like seeing him. I'm like, he's not gonna walk up to us. And he walked directly up to us and didn't say a word. All I see is a hand reach out, grab my friend's shoulder, and start pulling her. And so I snap. I'm like, and I push him. I say, don't touch her, right? And he's like, yeah, go come here, over, and like grabs her again. And I hit him again. I like push him back, and I'm like, stop. I said, and then I'm like, now I'm in like, you're gonna, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm gonna have to hit you now. If you hit, if I said
the next step from there is laying him out.
I said, if you touch her again, I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I cock my fist back like this, and he goes, and dude, I swear. And this is the anger balloon thing. I can't even see straight. He starts talking about God, and it's like the one in the anger balloon. Because now I'm like, all right, but back up. back up. And he does.
Hmm.
Starts backing up. All right, brother. Leaves.
Hmm.
I was like, dude, that could have went so bad.
That could have gone real weird.
Oh my gosh. He said the one thing that was like,
Yep.
"Psst," you know?
Yeah. No, Port Authority can go one of a few ways, man. There's only one time I ever had to get physical with
Did
someone there. I was with Rose, one of the few
Hey,
times.
shout out, by the way, because it's your anniversary.
Shout
Come
out
on,
to my
man.
wife
Rose.
for letting me be here. It's my wedding
Shout out.
anniversary. We spent
Shout out.
all day apple picking in
Yeah.
Warwick. It was
Oh,
a
that's
great time. We
beautiful.
slept in. It was a
That's
good time.
beautiful.
Mm.
So
she's,
thank you to
she's
her.
a gem. She's a gem.
She really is.
Yeah,
I got lucky.
Yeah, dude.
So I was in Port Authority. She's like having to use the restroom, and she's had some different medical stuff with her stomach, and so you never want to have to go to the bathroom at Port Authority.
Sorry about that,
You're
boys.
good, man.
It was the funniest
That's
noise.
good podcasting.
And so she dips into the women's room, and I'm hanging around. Of course, I work in production. Everything I own is black, pretty much.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, some like 4-foot woman, skinny as all can be, in grippy socks, black shirt, black leggings, grippy socks, comes out of the women's room. I'm like, oh no, okay.
Oh, no.
I hope Rose is okay. Like, she's in there for a bit, and she's texting me, and this woman like wandering around, clearly not doing okay. And she goes back into the bathroom, comes out with a gallon Ziploc bag full of clothes.
Oh no.
I'm like, what is going on? And then she's like rummaging through it, and then goes back into the women's rooms, comes back out, locks eyes with me. He's just like, I know you're watching me. You're FBI, you're CIA, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
no, dude.
of course, I'm
You
wearing
got
a
figured
black
out.
The feds. You're the feds,
Got
dude.
figured out.
thinking I'm
dog.
like, big brother in her. And I'm like, I'm just quiet. I'm looking around. I'm like, of course, the one time that there's no Port Authority cops standing in that one section.
Oh, yeah.
Because where those bathrooms are on the second
There's
floor,
always
always
people.
cops.
There's always people there.
So there's two
always
like
coppers.
camo Port Authority cops. One's got an AR, full plate carriers like they are. They usually hang out down in the main concourse, but they were hanging it up here this time, kind of
Mhm.
down towards the liquor store.
Mhm.
And I'm like, all right, do I yell for them or do I see how this goes? And she's like, kind of yelling, and then I see her kind of wind up and start to go and like run at me.
Oh my God.
And so I'm like, okay, do I let her go by or do I send her into the next century and just hip check her? Because her head's like here on me. She was small. So I just go, boop,
Hip check.
fucking, she goes airborne. Like, she was kind
Oh
of
my
like 250
God.
pounds. I'm like, and so of course, the minute they see her go down, they're running over. And I just text my wife, I'm like, meet me downstairs.
I'm about to go to jail.
I dipped. I was gone. I was like, not doing it. Nope. So thankfully, I know some
Wow.
Port Authority cops. I have
Yeah.
my brother was a statey. My cousin runs Citibank, international security. I have plenty of connections in that world.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to make phone calls that night.
Oh my God.
I was out with, I was supposed to be seeing Stephen Colbert with my wife.
Oh,
We actually
wow.
didn't make it because she was in the bathroom. So
No.
unfortunate. It's free tickets. It's
Yeah,
lottery,
yeah.
but we'll go another time. I was like, no, she was clearly struggling with something. I didn't
Yeah.
want to. But you're
No,
running
of
at
course.
me.
Of
Mm.
course.
Like I did was boop. It sent her into orbit.
Goodness, man.
It was so bad.
That's crazy.
So I mean, hey, New York City's weird like
You
that.
never know what you're going to run into.
No,
John.
I mean, I remember there was one time, I forget if it was 34th or 36th, where that kind of Skid Row is by at the entry and exit of the Lincoln. My dad was walking up to Port Authority from there. He used to work for the New York Times because he'd always be in that area. And he was out in the plant in Queens that day, and he was coming back, and I forget what happened, but I guess some little homeless dude popped out with a knife. My dad, he's like, give me your wallet. My dad goes, no.
Oh,
My dad's like 1.5 feet taller than this guy, and the guy goes, okay.
wow.
Just steps back into the alley.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to meet force with force.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway,
No, I hear you.
I'm sure Jocko or Sean
Yeah.
Ryan or any of those guys would have a field day with what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
But a
Dude, that's
different
all
story.
right, man. I think like it's just
Mm.
you get an encounter like that. It's hard to like you don't know how it's gonna go.
I never
No,
You don't know what
do.
you're dealing
Yeah.
with. So I get it.
I haven't had anything that bad. Do you ever see that video? where-
Trust me, you're not missing out on much.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad. You ever see that video of the dude going into like I think it was like a hair salon or Chinese like something,
Oh yeah.
and he goes in and he's like, "Give me everything." He's
yeah,
got
they
like a
just look
bag,
at him. They just look
and they're
at
just
him.
like
No.
they like don't care,
They just say no.
and he just gives up.
Yeah, and he's like, "Can I have the?" He's trying to take her purse. She's like, "No."
She's like, no.
He's like, "Give me your phone."
He just
He's like,
gave
no. Yeah, and he just like kind of. He was like, "Give."
What? They didn't play out the right way.
Just like walked out, dude. No mask, like totally on camera. It's terrible. Worst robber ever, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, but those encounters, man, that's New York City, baby. That's New York City, dude.
Was there like any sleeping out in the wilderness experiences where you were like, I don't know what the hell's going on?
It's another
Like, you
fear
got
one.
freaked out.
So I got one time for you.
Yeah.
I was at Farrow Lake. I was at Lean 26. I think it was the first time I was at Lean 26.
When you say lean, is it a site?
So
Like a
Lean
tax
2,
lien, you know? You know what I mean?
Right.
similar. No. So Lean 2 is basically a 3-sided cabin. So it's got a little bit of a roof in the front, a large sloped roof in the back, and you basically just lay down your sleeping pads and bags. And it can usually fit somewhere between 6 and 8, sometimes more.
Okay.
Technically, a lean-to site's not supposed to keep more than 12. And there's a big culture of lean-tos in the Adirondacks, and there's a couple of nonprofits that rebuild them. One's called Lean-to Rescue. And, they're just a really convenient shelter. You don't need to set up your hammock or your tent or anything. You just plop it in there.
There's bathroom, electricity, Wi-Fi.
Hell no.
Nothing. Okay. Right on.
No, I carry
So
my
we're just
own
talking
Wi-Fi.
about a couple wood walls and a floor.
Basically, yeah.
right.
With insulation so you're protected from the wind.
Got it.
Some of them have fire pits.
Oh, that's cool.
So some sections of the wilderness don't allow fires. High Peaks region hasn't allowed them since the 90s. Farrow allows them. They have occasional fire bans out north and west, and West Canada Lake, stuff like that. But it's not super common. There were a couple of wildfires in the High Peaks region that really wrecked the area, and there was one other one on Goose Island. A couple of kids tried starting a campfire with a bottle of gasoline and lit an entire patch of an island on fire. And so you're not supposed to light fires in the High Peaks for that reason. And unfortunately, there's a lot of foot traffic, so there's a lot of morons coming from areas that just don't, they're walking up with a couple of cans of Chef Boyardee, not realizing what they're doing.
That's me. Just me. Clank, 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 clank. This is great. The wilderness.
It's just also particularly funny when it's a couple, a middle-aged Canadian couple, and they don't speak a lick of English, and they're trying to ask if they can sleep in lean-to as well. And I'm like, sure.
Oh, so are you sleeping in the same lean as other people?
Sometimes, yeah. So technically, they're first come, first serve.
Panic attack.
Oh no, I've done it a bunch. You meet some really cool people like that.
Really?
Last time I was up there, I met 2 couples. One couple lived there in New York. The girl was from New York, and the other 3 were from Oregon.
Yeah.
Out towards Bend almost, and super sweet people. Got along with them really well. A couple of them had done sections of PCT that I kind of know of. One time I stayed with a couple of mid 30s, ladies from Montreal. One of them knew English. It was cool chatting with them, talking about different parts of Montreal. Both knew. One of my favorite breweries, the one girl's boyfriend worked at. So talking about their beer.
Wow.
No, you meet some really cool people.
Wow.
Honestly.
Wow.
There was another time I was at Lean-to 5 up in the Farrow Lake wilderness, and there was a family of 8 or 9. There was 3 grandpas, a bunch of dads and sons, and I think the youngest was probably in his 30s, probably about your age, and give or take. And I rocked up. It was late, and I had a headlamp on. I had one where it's 2 lights on either side, and they thought it was car headlights. They were so confused. A couple of them were drunk as skunks, and they were up there for the opening of trout season.
Oh.
And so I was like, hey, I've just got a hammock. They're like, it's fine. We got 4 hammocks over there, 1 over here. We're all in here. It's, come on. You want a beer? Want a glass of whiskey?
Wow.
Super accommodating. The next day they come back. They've got racks and racks of trout. They're cooking, frying trout, giving me pieces, and super cool dude. You'd be surprised. More often than not, they end up being real cool.
I believe it.
Sometimes they get elbowed in the back in the middle of the night 'cause it's a little too tight. And you can go. Depends. It can go one of 2 ways.
That's my butt. Get off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Saying a Diddy party. What are you
touching my
doing?
butt, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
What a reference.
Lean-to. This is no.
I'm not trying to lean on you.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's why I try not to put them to max. If I'm alone and there's 2, 3 other people, fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that's why I always carry my hammock. I don't ever rely on having to find a lean-to site.
Yeah.
If I need to set up a hammock, it's the Adirondacks. There's always going to be trees.
Right.
I don't need to worry about flat ground. I don't need to worry about clearing a spot or sticks. But no, that regardless, I think you'd asked weird experience in the night. I was in a hammock, in my hammock at that lean-to 6 in the Farrow Lake, and I just chewed awake. And I'm like, I didn't hear anything, but I know my body did that for a reason. So I'm like kind of listening, and it's dark enough to where I see a little bit of moonlight coming through everything. And I'm just kind of staring up into my tarp. And I hear a little bit of rummaging. So I look under my tent or my tarp this way, I look under my tarp that way. And there's one of the largest white-tailed deer that I've ever seen in my life. It's the size of a mule deer or a horse or something. Enormous. And it's already knows that I'm there, and it goes. And I drop my SE5, I drop it, and I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. I just have it pointed it in its direction. If it goes to gore me, I'm going to gore it, and we're going to have a fun time.
Let's it run into you.
Yeah, just pretty much.
Spear it in the face.
And after a few seconds of just locking eyes with it, it walks away. And I saw it like backlit by the moon. It was one of the coolest experiences.
Wow.
I sat there for
it
another.
was backlit.
It was backlit from the moon.
Think about that, man. Come on.
With the lake in the background. It was a gorgeous image, but it was also
Horrifying.
a little bit. It was freaky, but that was probably the scariest time I've ever had, like at night in the woods.
That would feel so good. I feel like to be like eye to eye with an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's you or me. And like knowing that the animal like was like, it's not gonna be me today, and like walked off.
Yeah.
I would feel like just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like such a
I know you'll just get so freaked out just from squirrels running around.
I know I will.
Yeah.
At first. I mean, I've never done it.
Surprisingly, last time I went camping, I was like, they sound really big for some reason. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if it was maybe like the echo or
Where
something.
were you?
Wild.
I was in what's it called? Shit.
You ever heard of Six Flags? That's real.
The Monument High Point.
Oh, yeah. One of the sites there. Okay.
Yeah.
No, the squirrels up there are fat as hell.
Yeah.
They're
I was
huge,
like,
dude.
Chunky
They eat
squirrel.
nothing
this
but
is pretty
garbage.
loud. I was like,
Yeah, they are pretty big. The Adirondacks, though, they're tiny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They have little red ones that are like just a little bit bigger than
Yeah.
chipmunks.
Yeah, man.
so you'll know
Yeah.
if somebody's
Yeah.
walking.
You mentioned spiritually getting connected out
Sure.
there, right? And meditating. You
Mhm.
said like you've done so. Like, what does that consist of usually when you go up and you meditate? A lot of prayer time, like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
grounding.
definitely some prayer, definitely some like listening to, I'll download, I have a Spotify premium, I'll download sermons, whether it be Tim Keller, my own pastor, Ryan Basil at Emergence, or shout out to the O'Hagans, they go there as well.
Shout out. Dude.
Shout out.
Carly
our
John
boy.
and her husband. It's really just a lot of like trying to pray. So the system that I have was taught to me by a buddy of mine, Tyler, who's the youth pastor now at Emergence. Tyler Shinicki, great guy. He was in my wedding, and he's also a licensed counselor. And part of the practice basically is sitting and just grounding yourself through exercising each kind of sense. Sight, what do you see around you? And I'll sit, usually it's why I try to sit in a lean-to or near a lean-to, so I have some form of structure. So kind of a texture instead of just open woods.
Yeah.
Because I tend to see and hear and smell too many things. So if I'm in a lean-to, there's a little bit more of a base.
Yeah.
And so I'll work through vision. I'll close my eyes. What do I hear? What do I smell? What do I feel? And I'll just work from head to toe. Like, what am I feeling? And sometimes I'll find like little aches and pains or hurts that I didn't realize. Like I'd had sciatica for a bit, and I just like kind of very intentionally working through my back actually can sometimes feel like the disc that's herniated. I got hurt.
Wow.
I got hurt doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I got flipped wrong by a statey. And so I actually can like feel it. So if I really meditate and like getting connection with my body, I can feel that. And just working through that. And once I'm just kind of completely grounded to myself and all of nature is kind of at least like I'm aware of, I'll kind of start processing through things in my head. I'll kind of try and allow myself to imagine my thoughts, my feelings, my everything else that's going on, whether it be prior hurts, emotions that I can't seem to process or pin down. Like, why am I angry? why do I feel anxious about this? Like, is there something connected to my childhood? Is there something am I angry because I'm sad about this? Like, and just try and like kind of allow them to kind of swirl around me, and I'll pick them out and I'll process them as I can.
Wow.
And through that, I really just, I kind of allow, myself to kind of give them up to God and allow them to be surrendered and kind of, sorry, this beer's good. Whether it be like, processing in a way where it's like, I need to deal with this and I'll take notes. I always carry.
I want to see the journal.
Notepad. Field notes, guys.
Field notes.
Another company that I would not mind being
Sponsored by?
by. So all in one Ziploc. Try to keep it all kind of waterproofed. Just a notepad,
Yeah.
pen, a couple of AAA batteries, charging cables, but nothing crazy. This is a fairly fresh one. Couple of entries.
Yeah.
This one I picked up at a bookstore in Montclair, New Jersey, around Church Street.
Beautiful.
I'll write down things as I need to. I'll try and kind of hold on to those. It's sometimes if I come out to write something down and then try and go back in, I have to work through the whole process. So sometimes I'll wait for those things towards the end. And from there, I'll pray about those items. I'll kind of, if there's specific things that I know that I'm going to be dealing with on my way in, I'll do some research. I actually also I have a formal education in the Bible. So I have a large portfolio of different Bibles, resources, lexicons, so on and so forth. So if I have enough charge in my phone, I'll actually do, topic searches and like really process through like what the Bible and Jesus and God and on large says about it, or, early church writers, or, again, Tim Keller's got a sermon for everything.
That's my fave.
Tim's the best.
Tim's my fave, dude.
There's a bunch of other pastors out west that I really enjoy. My buddy Jordan studied under some of those guys, the guys from Bible Project, of course. And there's a lot of really seriously good preachers out there, and no one is perfect, but all of them have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's learning from their mistakes. Sometimes it's learning from their wisdom. Unfortunately, I've had way too many people that I know be hurt from churches that they've gone to, and they're a little jaded. But if you know where to look, there's a lot of really, really good stuff. And so I feel like that's kind of just a good synopsis of what I do, and like the grounding meditative exercises I do, and prayer and reading and stuff like that. There are definitely other steps, and sometimes it's just a matter of sitting down. I have a flask. I'll throw some nice whiskey in sometimes, and I'll just have a cigar and that whiskey, and I'll just think. And kind of sometimes when I have a friend with me, I'll talk with them, or depends on the status. If I really need to go alone, I'll go alone. If I want to go with a friend, I'll go with a friend or two or whatever. And
Right on. What like speaking on Christ, what is something from the gospel, so you were bringing up like you're well versed in it, that is actively, because it's the living word, right? Like and constantly I'm finding the more I take it in, the more it's like speaking to me in terms of my present life.
Yeah.
So I was wondering for you, like, is there a certain part of the gospel that is like reflecting or like pushing towards you right now, like trying to guide you in some kind of way?
Yeah, I've really been appreciating the Psalms for the last probably 6 months. There's a lot to pull from that, man. If you just sit down and like read through a study Bible through like Psalms, like even just breaking down individual verses can be like hours. And that's really an incredible thing. I've been dealing with a lot of hurt, dealing with a lot of heavy shit in life, and just like even a lot of like David and Solomon's kind of raising of hurts, and like, God, why can't you just put an end to this, and calling for God to be able to make it better. David did a lot of dumb shit, so did Solomon, but God still used them. And what does that look like? I feel like that's kind of the one thing for me. Continuing to read through Galatians and some of Paul's letters have been really cool too. Galatians is a book that I really care about a lot. I always kind of point people back towards, okay, let me preface this with this comment of I hate the idea of life verses. The whole Bible should be your life verse. Stop picking one and like trying to hold to stop.
Yeah.
But I feel like one that has really been a trend throughout my life is Galatians 6:2. And the whole kind of idea of that section of the Bible is section of the beginning of the sixth book of Galatians, the sixth chapter of Galatians is all about lifting up the weights of others.
I love this.
Bear the burdens of one another and you'll fulfill the law of Christ. And just like being able to like lift up off of others and seeing how when others are able to do that for me and just like having relationships and the weight of that. And been processing through that, looking at going back to serving in youth group at my home church at Emergence. And the youth pastor is also one of my personal friends who's also a mentor of mine. And I'm like, where does this line sit?
Right.
Where can I serve where it won't affect our relationship? But how does our relationship affect you being a mentor to me? Like, so just like weighing a lot of that out. And how does that end up in interpreting with him lifting some of the weights off of me and helping bear these burdens? So for a long time, it was how can I help others? And I feel like for the last like 6 months to a year, it's been how can others help me with some of the stuff that I've got going on. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm at.
Can I throw a question for all of us out there?
Yeah.
And feel free not to answer it or to fib. But what are you...
You're talking to me?
Well, all of us. All of us.
What was that?
Nah,
What do you struggle with
viewership.
most? Let's say if we're turning our backs on God and we're trying to do it on our own. If we're doing it on our own, we're just like, we're walking our own path and we're doing it our way. What is one of the major things that you struggle with internally that you try to work on, or you don't, but it's there? It's like the biggest thing for you. I'll start.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have.
I struggle with my worth, my self-worth. So when we start to get into the gospel and I start to process like Jesus died for my sins, I hit like this roadblock of like, why? Like if it's like for me, like I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to like grasp it for some reason. I have this like internal dialogue that tells me, yeah, but you keep fucking up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the loop that I try to, and I know I have to just dive into him in those moments. And I've been doing much more of that. And I know that's the way to transform, because I can't transform myself. I can't grow just by like trying really hard at it. Like I'm not going to transform. The wiring's too deep. It's not going to happen. But I've seen it start to happen in small ways through my life where faith has become the substitution for fear. And everything that I've kind of worried about up to this point in my life has been like the things that make me end up in a hole of my own making are fear-based decisions and actions. And the places where I end up in a more substantial, like rich place where I'm like, wow, I'm actually kind of proud of myself for getting to this point. And I feel like I've grown are based on my faithful decisions where like I'm not acting out of fear. I'm acting out of a belief that something loves me out there enough to like guide me. And I know that self-worth is going to come from there, that source. And I know he's going to work on me, but yeah, I still struggle with that, bro. That's like my number one. That's like top of the list, I think.
I feel like for a long time, I felt like I needed to provide. And not even just in marriage, but even prior. Just I need to hustle. And now, granted, there is a part of my career where, September through November and, April, kind of March through May, give or take, is insane. And that's going to happen. And I need to just lay it down and just go for it. And gratefully, my wife is super accommodating with that and super understanding and supports me through that.
Shout out.
But understanding that you need to rest. You need to slow down. You can't do everything. and you need to not just foster your time well, but defend your time well.
Oh.
Because there's always going to be a list of things trying to pull you, whether it be work, whether it be relationships, whether it be, wanting to go out with friends, whatever it might be. And you need to defend the time that you need to spend. Relationships, time for yourself, and being able to defend that. And with that is just the concept of, God providing.
That's right.
He writes very clearly, are you afraid of what you're going to eat today? Yet the birds don't worry about being clothed or fed. You will have air in your lungs. God provides for us. And now, have I had moments where I didn't even know where I was going to have food that night? Have I had moments where, like when COVID hit, I was away at college. I had sold my home, my childhood home. I put everything in storage. COVID hit, and I came home for spring break, and they're like, cool, don't want to come back. And I'm like, cool. Where do I go?
Yeah.
I don't have money coming in now because I was working for the school that I was going to. I don't have a place to live. I was basically kind of couch surfing for a little bit, and eventually I kind of set up a rent situation with a friend. But God always provided.
That's
I
right.
always had a roof over my head. I always had food in my stomach. And there's going to be days maybe where we don't even have that, but we'll always have air in our lungs, and we'll always have something in our back.
Yeah.
And being able to remember that. And I feel like that's kind of knowing when to rest, knowing when to just give it over to God, to be able to be like, no, God's got this. I don't need to just constantly hammer myself into the ground to be able to provide.
Absolutely, dude.
So
I struggle with this too, bro. I had a crazy meeting that was getting towards this film I'm working on. I'm always trying to balance that where like the career aspirations, how far do I push or how far do I give and faithfully say, this is what I'm stressing about, but I'm going to give it over to you. And I know that's always got to be the case. And I fall back into a flesh-driven, godless, creature of I need to provide. I need to be seen as a worthy partner and a worthy, just human that's doing well. And so this meeting was kind of hanging in the balance because this third party wanted to ruin it on us for some emotional reason. And it was literally hinging an investment opportunity or not. Right. And so this is big to me. This is really meaningful to me. And I want it to happen on a cellular level. It's been 4 years. Now's the time. I feel like God's bringing everything together for a reason. Now it's time to execute. And I find out this dude is trying to ruin it. This one person is trying to blow it up. And it was if I step back now and I look at that dude who got so angry so fast at this dude he doesn't know, I was an animal. I was like a lunatic. And the lesson I learned, and it kept springing up, someone would come into the cafe the night before and be like, hey, brother, just have faith. And I'd be like, what? And then I was another person came, he's like, can I give you a hug? I'm like, what? What's weird stuff was occurring within 24 hours leading up to that moment where I didn't know if the meeting was going to happen or not. But everything kept telling me in little ways and big ways, have faith, to the point where I'm talking to my partner about this meeting I'm stressing about. And he's like, dude, have faith, have faith. I look up, this dude at the gas station sweater was like, this faith will not be broken on his sweater. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. It was like God was laughing at me, chill, bro. I'm just trying to show you, I got you. Let it go. Trust me. Have faith in me. I'm showing you one thing about your character that's got to change.
Yeah. Because
you're clearly a little too. You've made this your God, and we're gonna have to bring that back to a normal human place. And instead, put me there. Trust me. I said, okay. You show me 7 different ways where I got to do it, so I'm gonna trust you because I need it spelled out for me like that sometimes, like a baby. I'm not raised in the faith where I've this strong 20 years of just faith integrated into me, but I've had beautiful, heartfelt connections to the Lord, and I'm I know that means something to me, and I'm developing this relationship. So it was it turned from the worst to the best night of my life, and one of the best nights of my life in a second. I slept like a baby. The meeting happened. It went great. I was like, dude, I just got to have faith. I'm just listening to that. Anyway, Mike, your answer. I'm sorry.
Curious of what you have to say.
I just wanted to point out the defending the time thing. I like that.
Isn't that good? That's a good one, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jordan
That's
Morani
tough.
for that one. He taught me that.
Shout out.
Yeah. For me, I think I just struggle with the occasional like battle with purpose.
Mm.
You know, it's like what I'm doing right? Did I make the right choices? Am I able to live with that? Sometimes I doubt myself because of that, but I don't know. I think it's hard to always, just trust. Like everything that's that's gonna happen is gonna happen. I'm not a terrible person. I put myself in positions where things happen that are good. I do things for other people, not fully for myself. I like giving. I love doing that, trying to be a good person. And I don't know, stuff when like one day you wake up and it's just, I feel like shit. And I'm a terrible person.
Right.
But like, yeah, I don't know,
That question.
yeah, that question always comes up.
Mm.
Mhm.
Could I be doing more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could always do more, but should you be doing less?
Do you ever feel comfortable doing less?
Mm.
Like camping. That felt good.
That felt good, yeah.
Yeah, you
That's doing
You're
less.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
the thing.
A planned less is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. To know in your heart that like you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a tough thing to like accept.
Yeah.
And I think that's is that what you're struggling
Yeah.
with? Like that
No,
that
yeah.
feeling of like,
Yeah.
I know I'm where I'm supposed to be, man. This is it. This is there's no other place I'm supposed to be. Nothing else I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now.
It's also like kind of like a deeper thing too, where like a more spiritual feeling of like the purpose in does all this really matter? Sometimes,
That's
you know?
huge. That's huge.
Like why things happen? Like why is it like this? You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just kind of that's kind of like a I don't know. It's kind of weird if I say I enjoy that
Do
a
you?
little bit. I kind of like that, like kind of learning and try to figure that kind of question out.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, what's the purpose of all
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
It's funny because like when you do that, we have conversations later on, because I do it too, where like you can sit and dwell
Yeah.
and feel miserable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you could sit and dwell on things for so long and
Yeah.
say like, well, I can't seem to find an answer I like because the state of things isn't good
Yeah.
and I don't know my part in it. So I feel terrible. I don't feel better
Yeah.
through this thought.
It's like a projection. Like if you're not feeling good and you're like asking those questions, you're not going to be coming to a good conclusion. You know.
Right.
But if I, right now, like if I think about it, like I have a great conclusion. Which is it's funny.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a tough thing, man.
Yeah. Man.
We all go through it.
Yeah.
We all go through that. But yeah, bro, everyone's on that journey, I guess, in their own way, man. Like, what's my purpose? What am I meant to do here with this time I got? Why? Why
I
is
feel
the
like
big
that's
answer,
that's
the big
part
question.
of the core of being a creative.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, dude.
Mm.
I love doing this, and I was taught this with acting stuff, but when you're looking for meaning, it applies to all art forms, all creative outlets, whatever. You're kind of trying to get to know yourself more. You can always ask another why. There always seems to be another deeper layer where you can go.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll mine. And you were saying that with your meditative process and like asking questions about yourself and journaling about them. You'll hit like this reserve that you didn't know was underneath everything. Where it's like, oh, I know why. An example would be like, I feel alone.
Mm.
I feel like everyone turned their back on me. But it would start with like a why. Oh, well, she didn't text me back. Why'd that hurt you? You know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 boom. And you get eventually to this like core human reason of like, oh, I think I feel abandoned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people walk around every day, like their whole day, months, years, never quite investigating or pondering or like, digging. And it's a tough life, man. I don't know. That's a tough life. And I've been there, but yeah, bro, I think it's good that you're finding out for yourself. Like you ask the questions, you do ask the questions, you try to find like an answer of like, what am I missing? And is there something I'm not doing that I should be doing?
Yeah.
Should I have not done this? Should I, whatever, like we could play the what if game for sure. So it's good. It's good you're asking the questions, but who was it? Rainer Maria Rilke, Letters to a Young Poet. He wrote this really profound thing to this young poet saying like, it's the question, fall in love with asking the questions. Like the answers aren't quite as important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying in his own words, but the journey of asking those questions is like the reason for the whole thing. That was his statement.
Yeah.
Which I kind of vibed with at the time. I was like 27. I was like, dude, yeah, I feel like I'm asking questions all the time and like looking for answers that I can never get just from the world. Like it's not, they're not coming to me. Yeah, bro.
It's like a core part, I think, of being a human. It's like curiosity.
Yeah, for sure.
Figuring things
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, man. Yeah, bro.
out. Yeah, brother.
How you feeling, man? You have any questions for us
Anything else?
before we wrap?
Brother.
Or anything you want to talk about? Shout out? Any kind of thing?
No, I've made a lot of shout outs.
There's been a lot of shout outs. Sponsorship pitches. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. Noon and
Fjallraven, a couple other companies.
There we go.
Pacifico. If you wanna-
Pacifico. I would love the Pacifico shout out.
if you'd like to host any beer events in the New York City, New Jersey area, I've done events for a laundry list of companies.
Yeah, dude.
What are 3 things in the next 2 years you guys can do to expand this?
Oh.
Practical.
Practical things. Not just like floofy idea things. Practical.
And it could be as simple as like more social media. Like
We got to get Trump on here. No. Just as a joke.
Please don't.
No.
Oh no, that'd be so bad.
I think we do a good job.
We'd kill it.
You do.
I'd feel good about that.
What do you think?
I would do the Jimmy Fallon like hair thing. Like I'd get in there. I'd have to get in there.
Oh.
You are here? What do you mean?
You guys are great. Man, I don't know. I think I don't know. That's a great
think one of them would be to try to expand the business stuff that we're doing to hopefully fund into this one day.
Oh, so like literally make more funding. The patreon.com/your podcast if you want to contribute. So just invest in our business more.
I think there's a thing in, maybe not even just in that, but in growing ourselves outside of it, I think it could spark a little more.
I hear you.
You know?
I hear you.
Which I think is what it's always done.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know, that's a core thing. I guess it's not a new thing.
More clips.
We've been doing that. Man,
Just
I think about it,
multiply the
bro.
amount of
I think about it. I'm like, more clips? Does that?
Yeah. I don't know. No, that's real.
I'm like,
I don't know.
More social media presence, man. That's
It's a real thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. And we have to get on
make
like,
a Facebook? I don't know.
we can make a Facebook. I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's a good question.
I think it'd be
man.
cool to try to expand our the stuff we do, like in terms of like little video stuff.
Well, I love doing the
Yeah.
street
Different
stuff.
types
That
of
was-
thing.
That was
Yeah.
great, man.
I don't know.
Doing
We
the-
just stopped doing that.
I know, man.
I don't know. We got to do it.
We should pick that. That should be
We
something
should.
we should do. Actually, start hitting the streets
We
again.
should literally just walk out here, like before,
Yeah.
for like a couple minutes.
Yep. Dodge the dog doo doo on the sidewalks around here because
Yeah.
it is a minefield. As Evan found out very early on.
We should just go to like
Reason I'm
people
not wearing
stopping
shoes
at.
right now.
We should go to people stopping at the light and just like ask them a question like immediately.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in their window open.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm down.
You know,
bro.
shit like that. Just
That kind of stuff I loved.
Go-
And it was
wild with
it was
that.
doing well.
The little
We were popping off on that stuff.
we were. That's kind of what
We were
popped
doing
us
all
off,
right.
dude.
We're doing all right.
It's kind of what popped us off, and once
Yeah.
we stopped doing that, we kind of fell off again.
No, we never fell off, bro. But it is what it is. But yes, I appreciate this question, dude. This is gonna.
That's
make me
another
think
thing. That's
more.
one thing.
That's one
We
thing.
need number
for sure.
2.
No, it was like 2.
There's 2 in there.
There's clips and there was street presence.
What's a third
Getting out
thing?
there.
We got to do more like eat this weird thing clip. You know what I mean? And then like Mike tries a
More challenges.
yeah.
Challenges.
Yeah.
Cinnamon challenge.
What do you think about that, dude?
Hot pepper
Evan,
challenge.
Evan, give us some advice. What are 3 things you would like
Yeah,
to
what do you
see to
think?
help us expand, in your opinion? Because we're at a loss, man.
I mean, I feel like the consistency in the clips is huge. You know,
Consistency in the
consistency in just being able to have your presence in people's feeds consistently.
Right.
Yeah.
and have a schedule. Have people see, oh, it's Tuesday and Thursday.
Boom.
I'm going to post clips,
Yeah.
at this time, this day.
I'm at a Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now.
There you
Monday,
go.
Wednesday,
It's
Friday.
perfect. So you already have that. I'm not on social media at this point, so I've seen how that works for other friends of mine. I feel like the just getting out in the community is huge.
Oh yeah.
Whether it be just asking random people, going
Small
to
businesses.
what
Small businesses in the area.
small businesses too, but even just kind of what you guys were saying about just like going to the street corners, talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of conventions of podcasts and, recording, engineers, stuff like that, getting out there, getting a booth, maybe not even getting a booth necessarily, but like getting out there, getting, in community with people, other podcasts, other,
we
studios.
never do that. We've never done that.
There's a couple just in New York City. New York Times
Really?
hosts one in Queens.
We used to do live shows. We used to do like anniversary shows, live shows.
We should bring back a live show.
Dude, that was
do a live
should.
show.
Dude, we had like a crowd. It was the best.
Get a crowd.
Yeah,
do a
it was
live
awesome,
show.
man. And then we'd interview people that were there, and they would come up and have like
Oh.
segments. Dude, it was so
Dude,
cool.
that's awesome.
It was the best. That was the best.
Yeah.
That was honestly, I had so much fun doing that.
That
And
was
we should
fun.
do that again.
No.
There's a few things.
Live
I
show.
mean,
COVID killed it.
yeah, I feel like it's a lot of that. Just like continuing to get out there, continuing to dig into your community, like, do more community engagement. Maybe be a little more. I don't know how you guys do the Patreon stuff. Honestly, just
Well, dude,
want you guys to
We put up
succeed.
some random shit.
the random clips. go
Yeah,
up
but
there.
like more community, like Q&As, live
Yeah.
sessions.
Oh,
do-
Q&As would be great.
Do like
We try.
Yeah,
like-
Q&As. Yeah, we'll try to get.
like being able to engage your community is 90% of
Yeah.
We don't do that enough.
We gotta
We
get.
got to do that more. We got to do that
yeah,
more.
I feel like a lot of
We gotta do that.
your engagement is passive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Live shows,
It's true.
Q&A, live streams, Q&As, consistent posting is
Dude.
huge. Like I
You
feel
hit
like
the
that's a
nail
lot
on
of
the
it.
freaking head, dude. We gotta have the interactions.
Yeah.
We gotta engage.
I mean,
We gotta get up close and
if
personal.
you guys need any gear, I'm here.
Oh man,
So
it's good to
We're gonna be
know.
calling Evan.
That's good to know. And he's 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
We gotta hit the streets, dude.
before you know it, we're gonna be filming the Gramercy Theater or something.
Oh man,
Next year, we're hitting 1,000.
I love it. I love it. Let's start with that. Let's start with that goal. 1,000 subs on YouTube.
I think thousands.
We're at,
Possible,
what are we
dude.
at?
We're at
556 right now? Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah,
we can
you,
get there.
You can expand that.
Yeah. We just got to
Do it,
double in a
dude.
year. Can we do it? Can the boys do it?
I'm gonna eat a hot pepper.
I'm gonna take my shirt off at some point, and we're gonna shave every bit of hair off.
We gotta have a hot tub podcast.
Hot tub podcast,
Hot tub.
hot
We can do that,
tub,
we
hot
can do
tub
that.
streams.
We gotta bring it out
More
in the
travel
wilderness
pods.
one day.
more travel pods, man.
Camping.
Pod.
I brought that up to Dave like 2
You
months.
did.
And
2
you
to 3
didn't
months
tell
ago.
me.
This is the best idea.
didn't tell
This
me
is the
anything.
best idea.
No, like go out in the middle of the woods, record in the middle
This
of
is
the
the
woods. Maybe we'll do
best
some meditative stuff. Like
idea is to get out in the woods and do a pod.
I'm down.
yeah,
I got everything I need.
I know,
I'm
yeah.
chilling.
all you
I
need
would-
is an H4n and a couple lines.
This
There
is
you go.
this is brilliant.
I got a little
how about
contract,
this,
bro.
How about this? If enough people, this is how we engage. This is how we get the engagement here. If enough people,
get 10 likes.
let's just
No,
say,
put a poll up on Patreon. Get in people's feeds.
Let's
Again,
go.
community engagement, guys. Come on.
if we get, let's do a low number, 25, 25 likes, 5 comments on this short thing. We're going camping. We're all going camping. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a pod.
Here
out
we
there.
go.
How's that?
I'm
And that's the
down. Let's
test.
do it.
And then
And that's the test.
people decide.
Do we engage or do we not?
Yeah, but now we've opened the door.
Yeah.
And then we'll see.
Now
if we
we've
light
opened
woods
the
on fire.
door. All right,
Who
who's
carries
gonna
the
carry
boats?
the boats, dude? Me in the woods with this.
Mm.
Ev, thank you so much, bro.
Thanks so much for having
This
me.
has been the
guys.
most.
It's
This has been the most fun, dude.
It's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Cheers, bro.
I appreciate you guys very much. We all got to go on hikes. We all got to spend more time. I feel like I've been wanting to spend more time with you guys for a long time.
Oh
dude.
man,
I think
you're the best.
I think that's
do
something
this.
that's gonna have to happen.
I would love that. I did ditto, bro.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for being open book with us. You want to hold it? You can hold it on the way out.
You Are Here podcast. Oh man,
Does that
episode
feel good?
297.
Evan
Stay safe out there.
Blades are all out.
Stay safe out there,
We didn't say the number on the way in, did we?
guys.
297.
We didn't, but they know.
They
'Cause
know.
You know now.
You Here Podcast has the best community. out
Like
there.
and subscribe. Right?
Like and subscribe, guys. My name is Mike.
We'll see you in the polls.
My name's Dave. I love y'all. Please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to one another.
I did not have something prepared. I'm so sorry. Oh, man.
I love that. We got to surprise him every
Stay
time.
winning.
Win.
Okay, now I gotta really do it. Dave, you have to. Don't look behind you. We're good. Yes! I don't want to look at this.